Hello and welcome to Separate Bathrooms. My name's Ali Daddo.
I'm Cameron Daddo.
We would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, of which we are recording this podcast on, and the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to the elders, both past and present.
Indeed.
Indeed. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Howdy, listener. You've got us today. It's just us.
It's just an us episode. Stay with us. Stay with us.
We're calling it the take stock.
Yeah.
Or the stock take. Maybe taking stock episode.
Yep.
Where it's a bit of a check-in.
Yeah.
Because we've been busy.
We have been busy.
How are you feeling? If between 1 and 10, give me a number. 10 being great, 1 being nights and...
Oh, gosh. That's kind of hard because it depends on which area of my life I'm talking about. Like, you know, yeah. So health-wise, I'm around at 8 or 9, which is great.
All right.
Relationship-wise, it's at 11.
11. Turn it up to 11. Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Stress-wise, it's probably we're heading down under the 5s for that one. Probably 3s or 4s around there, perhaps, I think, at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, how about you?
Well, we'll get back into that. 3s, 5s, 4s. We might have to. I want to know about that.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 10, I'm going to check in around an 8.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
generally
like that.
A general 8.
Is that a B plus?
I guess that is. Well, wait a second. At school, isn't 80% and above an A?
I don't know. I never know what it is, actually. We had this conversation with our youngest, Bodhi, the other
That
day.
was funny.
You were trying to figure out what her score was, and she was like, it's an A, Dad. It's an A. It's just an A.
What?
No, I think it's a B plus.
I think it was high 70s she was talking about. So,
Anyway, whatever it was, she did
yeah,
well.
I was going B. So it doesn't matter, honey.
Yeah.
If you're doing the best you can, then
That's right.
I'm happy with that.
And it was the best she could. She was really proud of herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've just had a great week with her. She's following in her dad's footsteps for the moment. She's just done the lead role in her school play, which we knew about from last year.
Oh, September it's been. Yeah, from
and I've
last
been
year.
like, we'll get you a singing teacher to get used to get your breathing organised and all that sort of stuff. She said, Dad, I'm okay, I've got it. I'm like, dude, just back the hell up. Leave her alone. So the musical was...
Back to the 80s.
Thank you.
Yep.
And she played the lead girl, and I was just so proud.
That's such a hoot.
Yeah.
Such a hoot.
The school did it beautifully. Her high school did it beautifully. They had a band. They had horn section in the band. They were really good for a student band.
Yeah.
With the limited amount of time that they get to rehearse. Like I know when I'm doing a show, we're rehearsing for 12 hours a day. You're doing it 6 days a week.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And they're just slotting rehearsals into their school schedule.
Yep.
But what I loved the most about what they did was, from all of them, was their commitment.
Right.
They all committed. There was no sort of kids drifting off on stage. They'd say their line and then go, okay, well, I'm done now. It's your
Check
turn
their
to
watch.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of them were doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say that Bodes was in it the entire time.
Yep. Do you know what I think? I think there's a lot of credit given to the drama coach because he made it fun for those kids. And it was never about who's the superstar, because a lot of kids got to shine, not just Bodes. There was a lot of main roles. And he just made it fun. It wasn't stressful. And I just think that, to his credit, that comes across as like they're sort of quite relaxed with it in a way and having fun up there, which it's such a fun play. So that's what it needed to be anyway.
Yeah. And I reckon that as a director, or, in those situations, if you are focusing on the fun part of it, it's not the result putting on, the intention is to put on the best show you can, but they're not going for anything. It's not like they're going to win a grant of 50 grand if they put on a great show. It was just really about do the best you can.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, because they were not angling for this huge, big thing at the end, which can be imposing, they were just out there having a good time.
Yeah.
And what I also liked, as you say, like Bode's, if that was a main stage production, it was on at the Lyric Theatre or the Regent in Melbourne, as the lead role, you would always have seen Bode front and centre on stage. That's where she would have been put. But there was a lot of the time where she was back with the chorus.
Yeah.
And other kids were brought forward to allow them to really shine, even if they didn't have a song or a line. They were just out there.
That's right, yeah.
And so it was really good. It was
So fun.
Well played. So that I just loved that. I loved that. And so yeah, I'm around an 80 and I've just been loving watching Bode do her thing,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You said 3s and 4s or 4s and 5s on your stress levels. What's happening there?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you well know, I'm dealing with both my parents and their health, their mental health and their physical health. I've just come from the hospital where Mum has just been admitted for the third time in 3 months.
Yeah.
So she's 87. And she's been one of those people that's been fairly healthy. I mean,
I would say so.
Yeah. And mentally and emotionally, that's where she shines. That's where she's been amazing. She's always upbeat. She's got a laugh. She's got a joke. She's got a fact and a memory of things. It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah.
But she did have a stroke, a mini stroke 3 weeks ago. And from that point on, this is where we've been noticing a difference. And she's had a lot of trouble with pneumonia in the past. So she's back in hospital with suspected pneumonia or a possible clot in her lungs. So it's just, I don't know, I feel somewhat like almost disassociated from myself in a way. Like I'm in this like mode. I can feel myself in I'm
like fix it mode or something?
Fix it mode and just do it mode. Like I don't feel that. I feel emotional, but like I'm not letting myself go there. I'm just like, because I feel like my brain won't allow me to go to the what ifs.
Right.
When I said goodbye to her on the way here, a little voice went, "This could be the last time." It's like, no, don't do that. Just I'll see you in a few hours, Mum, because I'm going to go back there again, obviously, So, yeah, it's this really interesting, I can feel this kind of reaction to what's going on with her. It's like a safety mechanism for my emotions almost, where I've just gone, compartmentalize. This is what needs to be done. Let's get this, doctor, x-ray, get her things from her home. And, she stayed the night last night and you were amazing with that as well. So I'm just in that mode right now. But I think about, when the stroke happened 3 weeks ago, same thing happened. I was in that mode. We were really fortunate that the angels were shining upon us. I was with her in the back of a cab when it happened.
Yep.
And I just tapped the guy on the shoulder and said, Royal North Shore. And we were there within 12 minutes. They were phenomenal with her, straight in, working on her straight away. And again, people were saying, "Are you okay, Ali? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Until you told me that the dog died.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
that night. And I'm laughing because the dog didn't die. That's why I can laugh about it.
Yeah.
You thought, you went up, you were like, "Oh, honey," and now we had gorgeous old 15 rescue. It's about 15.
Oh, okay. It's a little, I think he's crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
I think he's a couple of years older. We don't know. We rescued him in Los Angeles.
We really don't know.
Brought him back. And he almost carked it when we landed.
I know, bless him.
So stressed.
He's so sweet and he's so old. And that night you were like, "Oh my God, honey, he's gone." And I lost myself, like inconsolable.
You did actually.
For a long time.
Yeah,
and
I thought, this is a big reaction for a dog. But,
well,
or for anything.
But yeah.
But it was, it was big. It was a big big response.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't a response. It was a reaction. You really did. It was like, wow, there
Yeah.
it is. I didn't actually connect it to
Yeah.
what had happened with your mum.
And then I said, I just want to go hold him. I just want to go hold him. And I walked over to him, and the little bugger put his head up. I was like, yep, hi. And I was like, he's alive. And you're like, oh my God, Dobby. And I cried into his fur a little bit.
Beast. You beast.
He's like, what are you doing?
Oh, my-
Like, what are you crying at me for? And I was like, oh my God, you ruined my life. And it was just so fine. Absolutely. He was just in a deep sleep.
He was in a really, because I picked him up, but it was like
Yeah.
rigor mortis had set in and he didn't move. I've got
No.
2 hands underneath him to take him outside and he's stiff and it's like, he must have died an hour ago. And he's gone.
But he was still so warm, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. He was warm because he'd been up. I'd fed him 3 hours before that.
Yeah.
But he was it was like, what the hell? And then since that time, I've gone to pick him up and he's done it again.
Yeah.
But no, not rigor mortis, but he's all floppy. He just goes,
he doesn't want to go
His tongue
outside.
goes out. He doesn't want to go outside. So it's like he's pressing himself deeper
He
into
plays
the bed.
dead.
He's super smart.
Do you know how kids are able to do that? It's like they make themselves heavier when they don't want to go somewhere, and they're like, "Wait, you are not this heavy, but why
Yeah.
do you weigh
Yeah.
double the amount of weight when
Yes.
I try to pick you up?"
That's their superpower. They're employing gravity.
Yeah. So I think that was a bit of
okay.
a moment and a release. But so I'm just kind of in, and Dad's going through his whole thing at the moment, moving him into a retirement home, which is it's so confronting for them, and I found it really confronting for me as well. Just watching my dad, who's been so independent for so long, and then you take them to their retirement home as we moved, you and I and my sister moved him in, and all of a sudden everyone around him is old in wheelchairs with walkers. It's like, whoa, okay. This is different. This is a different place for him now. And it's just, everyone goes through it.
Yeah.
Or most people go through it.
Some of us go through it faster than others.
Some people do. Some people lose their parents when they're younger, you know, which I'm sure there's people out there going, I wish I was moving my dad into a retirement home. I didn't get that opportunity, you know. So
And some of us have it projected upon us. Like when I walked out of his door and another neighbour looked at me and said, "Oh, you must be Cess. Welcome to the..." No, I'm not Cess. Cess is inside.
you were horrified. He's much
I'm the
younger.
son-in-law and no, I don't move here. I haven't moved in here quite yet. Damn it. Go get a bottle of brown hair dye or something, or stand up straight,
honey.
man.
She must have not been wearing her glasses
Oh,
or
thanks,
something.
honey. You're very kind. But she was the second person that said welcome. I was walking down the aisle of the senior assisted living facility that now Pa lives in.
Yeah.
But I don't mind going there because he's been so good to us
He has.
and to me
yeah.
through our years that it's a pleasure to be with him. And actually, sometimes it's not a pleasure to be with him because he can be really grouchy, and I understand
And
that.
I understand it too.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
get that. And this has been a great lesson. And this is, even with my folks, they're still in their own home. Mum and dad are together. They've been married for 60 odd years.
Yep.
They're hugely active. And they're a little younger than your mum and dad.
Yeah.
Though I can see how at the end of your life, when your body isn't quite working the way it used to, your eyes, I'm already there now, your eyes don't work as well as they used to. Ears, your senses are a little...
Sounds like an Ed Sheeran song.
It could. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just write... No, I might end up in court this time.
He's already written it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when your legs don't work like they used to.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that's a good song. Yeah, that's one of those ones I wish I'd written.
But he's,
But
what's
I'm not-
funny? You know what he says? And then there's a line in it, I will love you till I'm 70. And I'm like, 70?
Hey, mate.
70? You're middle aged. You've got
but-
years ahead of
But
you.
clearly he's written that as a younger
As a young-
man,
I know.
right? And he's going, 70's really freaking old.
know.
But at the age of 50, 70's not that old.
That's right.
You know?
Well, yes.
I read that there's a person that we've become friends with, and she said, put a post up on Instagram today saying, I'm sorry to all the 40-year-olds that I said were old when I was 18.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, you should say sorry to all the 50-year-olds you're saying they're old when you're 40. She keeps telling me I'm old. Like, wait a second. It's just a number. All right.
That's right.
It's just a number. But yeah, so just to finish that point, you're, as we get older and I'm watching my parents go through sort of low grade version of what your mum and dad are going through now, the frustration and the I guess it's an erosion of patience maybe.
Yeah.
Where you just get so frustrated with yourself. This used to work. And it's like note to self. Write it in your diary now, Cam. Write it in a journal now to find when you're 80 years old that these things are going to happen, and be patient and be kind. First of all, to yourself, like in a relationship with yourself, be kind and patient. And how are you talking to yourself? Because I can hear that self-talk from your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, if he said, don't get old, Cameron, if he said that once, he said it
hundreds of times.
Yeah, and it's like, Pa, it's inevitable. It's actually happening right now to me too.
Yeah.
And to those kids that you're about to have dinner with.
To everyone.
So, not some people.
Everyone's
Some
getting
people-
older.
Yeah, some people seem to be. I mean, they've had
No
lots
one
of-
goes backwards.
Oh, I don't know. Aren't they? No. I look at pictures of some celebrities and they seem to be going backwards.
They just got more filler.
And airbrushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
Good on them. Good luck to them if that's what makes them feel better.
what it's really enforced for me, and I mean, I've spoken a lot about this, menopause already made me incredibly aware of my health and how important my health is.
Yeah.
And changing things for myself right now in order to be the healthiest version of myself. Now, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally to carry me through the rest of my days where I can be happy and healthy. And of course things are going to come up, that's not under your control.
Yeah.
Though I've watched my mum not be as physically active as she could. I've watched my dad, mentally go down some paths that have not been healthy for him as well, So I've got those two examples to go, okay, how do I circumvent that, now in a way so I can be healthier, I think it's very, like I said, that's that confronting thing for me. Like when I've really seen my mortality in watching my mum and dad get sick.
Yeah. I think I said this, well, you know this, but my dad, who has been a wonderful singer in his life, but never sung. Just never sung. But he has a great appreciation for music and singers. And I know that given another life, I reckon he would have done it. And it's been that point has been highlighted by the fact that he rang me and he goes, do you know that song he goes, I think it's Toby Keith, called Don't Let the Old Man In. And I said, no, I don't know it. So I went online and Willie Nelson wrote it and recorded it first. And Toby Keith, he's recorded it as well. It's a great song. And Dad said, I want to sing it. And I'm thinking, who is this dude on the other end of the phone? And so he said, can you learn it and you play it for me and I'll sing it? And I said, well, why don't I put a third harmony over the top? And he goes, I'd love that. So, oh gosh, not only do I get to record my dad, but he wants to actually sing with me.
Yeah.
Which is really lovely. The sentiment of the song is waking up, and you wake up in the morning and you might be 80 years old, but you don't let the old man in. You get to work. You do something. And that's the same with Mum, I think, because she's opening an art show this weekend and she said always be doing.
Yeah.
Always be doing, always keep active.
And her creative life is so full, and I think that's a really good lesson. You know what your mum also does, and I think she also gives a lot to your dad in this sense, is that she's always been with her vitamins and minerals and naturopathic care.
Homeopathics, yeah.
She's always boosted immunity constantly, for such a long time. I think there's really something in that.
Yeah.
Keep your levels up, all your vitamin A's and C's and D's and zincs and everything. Keep them at a really good, healthy level. So when you do get hit by something,
you're a bit more prepared for it. She's had us doing that, honey. Back in Melbourne when we grew up, growing up in Mount Eliza, Mum had us going through winter having teaspoons of Pentavite. She would line us up and we'd have, there would be the...
It's how very Mary Poppins of her.
I know, it was. Von Traps. So we'd have to line up, do our vitamins and stuff. So it's good. Good to do that.
Yeah.
So also based on so physically taking care of yourself, then emotionally, spiritually, it's important too. This is a relationship podcast, so we can actually say that we have recently gone back into some therapy, some couples therapy.
Yep.
For me, it's like you said, our relationship is at 11. I'd say it's 11 as well.
Would you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
I'm really happy with the way where we are at right now.
Yeah, good.
But I also think that is because we chose to jump back into just a little maintenance, just with a third person, just having a pro there, listening and having that support felt good.
Mm. And for me, it's also, as because we have done so much therapy as well. And sometimes, we can get lost in the minutia of like little things feeling like they're really huge things.
Yes.
Where, and that's what I was saying to you the other day. I said, we actually have a really good relationship. Let's not like toss everything out, baby out with the bathwater and just go, okay, this part of it needs attention for sure. And, I do the same thing. And so having that therapist there going, you guys are actually really great. The way you talk to each other and how you listen and like hearing that again was like, yeah, we're all right. We are doing really well. We just need to work on,
little
reconnecting
things,
and little things, tweaks. Yeah. And it's never going to be perfect. What's a perfect relationship?
I think a perfect relationship is an imperfect relationship.
Kevin Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick? I don't know.
Well, they seem to sing a lot together. We might need to add that to our repertoire.
Oh my God, you don't want to hear me sing.
I've heard you sing.
That may cause a divorce.
Okay, well, you're not going to get up there and challenge, some Marina Pryor for her Queen of Theatre.
That is true.
But you can still sing and that's enjoyable. When our therapist said to us, you guys are really, really good at speaking your needs or your feelings. And she reiterated kind of what you just said was you're doing things really well. You need to look at what you're doing as opposed to what you're not doing and to take stock of that. And I just think that's it's been a really important point for me since that moment is to go, oh, this is going well. That's going well. Instead of, it's like on Instagram or something, you immediately gravitate towards the evil comment or someone's nasty comment instead of all the good ones. Oh yeah, they're good ones. Everyone writes a good comment, but that nasty one, you go, oh my God, that's just thrown me. So in the relationship is to really pull out the bits and look at the bits that we are doing really well, because when you do that, it grows them.
Yeah, and I loved it when she was having us sort of repeat back, what did you just hear Cameron say? What did you just hear Ali say? Because when you're clear with actually what I'm hearing and what you're saying is completely aligned, then the conversation can go forward, because sometimes we hear things differently to what you're saying. Or I say I hear things differently to what you're actually saying and go, he said, it's like, no, that's not what I was saying, So that's really, that's a great tool to just go, stop. This is what I'm hearing you say. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That always helps.
That's true. I'm thinking of the old Charlie Brown comic strips on TV, and the teacher would be more. It was all Miss Othmar, that was her name, and that's how she spoke. That's what they heard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit like that. I hear you talking. It's just, mom, 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 mom. What, honey? What? Oh, no, I didn't hear that.
Well, if the footy's on, that may be how you hear me, actually.
It is true. I guess the bottom line is, I don't know, we'll wrap this up. It's really take a moment to put a pause and check in, and it really does help.
Yeah.
With each other, ask each other
absolutely.
questions. What's going well for you? What's not? And if you need a third person to help you out, a little maintenance therapy is really good.
Yeah.
And also with the oldies as well. I mean, that's what I was going to say. My mistake that I've made in life is that I think that once I've gotten through a tough part in my life, that's it. I've left that. Now I'm on to something else. And then it comes around 6 months later and kicks me in the ass again. And I think the lesson that I've gotten is that these things always come up.
Yeah.
It's how you respond to them. And that's helped me because I go, that old chestnut. Oh, okay, what didn't I get last time? What do I need to slow down for now? Because shit is always going to come up. Mm-hmm. And as long as we understand that, then you can deal with it when it comes.
Yeah.
It's when it's least expected that it's more difficult.
Yeah. And, and just to end on a happier note, I just wanted to say thank you to you. I was thinking this morning after you spent the night in the spare bedroom listening in case my mother fell as she went to go to the bathroom or stopped breathing and you chose to sleep in the bedroom right next to her, that I thought, oh my gosh, like those moments of gratitude, just going, if I didn't have a supportive husband like that, like who just was like, I don't want to hear, or whatever it was, I was just like, thank heavens you had the kindness and the empathy and the care to be a team together in order to support my parents. So that's a huge, huge thing for our relationship. And those things just strengthen you and I.
Yeah.
As we've always discovered, every crap situation we've been through, we come out of it and go, okay, that was hard, but we're stronger because of it. So
well, as I
thank
said,
you.
Oh, you are welcome. I'm grateful to be able to give that because there's been times in my life where I haven't wanted to do something like that, and it does feel good to do that. And as I said, they have both been so kind to me, and to be able to just add a little comfort and support to them at this stage of their life, well, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, we'll catch up with you next time on Separate Bathrooms.
Thanks for listening. Kiss your mum and dad.